Let's hunt.
What is up, and welcome back, you beautiful vault hunters. Today I'm bringing you another Borderlands 3 video, and it's going to be on my flak build, my favorite weapons, what artifact, shield, and equipment I use. So stay tuned in. We're going to go over everything in detail, tell you how it works, and why I use it. So playing in the background right now is a clip of me killing Grave Ward. I made it a point not to use the pipe bomb because I want to use nothing but legitimate game mechanics, the way the weapons work, and how everything plays out to show you how much damage you can really put out using a flak crit build with these specific weapons. Right now this is true Vault Hunter mode, and it is on Mayhem 3. Right now I'm only rank 96 in Guardian rank, so that's not going to have much influence on this build at all. The pistol I'm using right now against Grave Ward is the King's Call. Now the King's Call and the Queen's Call are going to be the same exact weapons, and I'll show you briefly in a second what the weapon actually looks like. But its special ability is critical hits return 3 bullets to your magazine and ricochet 3 bullets at the nearest enemy. Since Grave Ward's the only enemy, you can see those bullets ricocheting and bouncing back, hitting him again. So every bullet I shoot hits once. Now 3 ricochet out, so 4 shots total for every bullet I land, as well as refilling my magazine since I'm always critting while in fadeaway. Alright, so the next weapon on the list is going to be the Lyuda. So this is a very strong sniper rifle. Every bullet splits into 2 more bullets. So the initial bullet plus 1 on the left, plus 1 on the right, that's 3 bullets total. Now this Lyuda specifically rolled the attribute where it shoots 2 shots per trigger pull. So it shoots 6 bullets total. It also rolls 40% additional critical hit damage. Now this one rolled with cryo efficiency, but they can come with any elemental type, or no elemental type. So I'm going to show you in the background here. Let's see me kill something with it. So as you can see there, the bullets split rather quickly and it deals a ton of damage. Now we have Rowan's Call. So this is actually my overall favorite weapon for versatility reasons. You can use it in just about any situation, except unless they're immune to fire, but I would like to get different elemental types for this just for that reason. But this weapon is going to be a Jacob's weapon. It has a rather small magazine size, but when you critical hit, 2 bullets return to your magazine, and then those 2 bullets also ricochet to the nearest enemy. So you get 2 back and 2 additional shots to hit anyone you're fighting. So I'll go ahead and show us off some gameplay right now using this weapon here. So it's got rather strong recoil. I'm not a huge fan of the scope on it, but other than that, like I said, it is my favorite one. So this right here, let's see if we can get some criticals with it. I guess I could pop my ability. It annihilates everything. So it does great damage. The spread is wonderful. The recoil is a little hard to control, but once you get used to it, it is a phenomenal weapon. This guy's immune to fire, so you can see right there it does not do very much damage against him. Moving right along, we have Lucian's Call. It's going to be the brother of Rowan's Call and the son or daughter or something of King's Call. So Lucian's Call is going to have a much larger magazine size. It is a twin barrel Gatling gun assault rifle. So this one rolled, this legendary here specifically has the critical hits return 2 bullets to your magazine and also ricochets 2 bullets at the nearest enemy. So like the other weapons, that is a huge factor behind flak's crit builds. Since I'm always critting and fade away, bullets are always ricocheting and always hitting nearby enemies, as well as returning the ammo to my magazine. So let's show this one off as well. This is going to be the corrosive element on this weapon, but like the others, they can roll in all kinds of different damage types. Don't have my ultimate ability up yet, but you can still see the bullets ricocheting here, causing that corrosive damage. He's immune to corrosive, so just like the other weapons, kind of want to be able to switch between elements whenever that happens. So let's go ahead and show off what happens when I fade away, shoot a bunch of enemies, ricochets to everything nearby, and with this huge magazine, it's just endless, raining corrosive bullets. Pretty wonderful. Jumping right into the shield I'm using is going to be the failsafe stopgap. The reason I'm using this is because it has a very high shield capacity. It also rolls plus 25% max capacity right there on the shield. So that's awesome. If you do have a health pool, which I do not, and we'll go into that in just a second here, but on shield break you become immune to any damage taken for 5 seconds, which is awesome. So the class mod I'm using is going to be the Giant Slayer Bounty Hunter Legendary Beastmaster class mod. Way too many words in there, but what it does is we get a couple bonus skills. The first one you can see that says +2 with the skull and the money in the background. That is a very, very powerful skill, so I'm very happy that this mod rolled that. Now, what this does is I have a 3% chance to activate any purchased hunt kill skill while dealing gun damage. Since I'm dealing tons of damage, bullets are ricocheting, I'm always critting, things are going crazy, that 3% really adds up and activates quite often. Something else, some flavor text here is bosses are now treated as humans, beasts, and robotics for Flak's hunt skills. So this is definitely the boss slaying class mod for Flak, especially the crit build. Something else that's just crazy, the stats at the bottom there, the 40% additional weapon critical damage with Jacob's weapons is so strong, as well as the 9% additional weapon damage with Jacob's weapons. Now I don't use any heavy damage or heavy weapons, but the 27% there is pretty powerful as well. Now the Jacob's bonuses work really well with Roman's Call, which is, like I said, one of my favorite guns, and then King's Call, which is also a Jacob's weapon. So that stacks very nicely with both of those. Now, the artifact I use is going to be the Loot Expanding Deathless Legendary Artifact. Try to say that 3 times fast. But what this does is the coolest perks on here are going to be the cash, ammo, and health bonuses. 119% cash, 25% ammo, 43% health pickup bonuses. So that's pretty cool and useful if I need more money or ammo. But why I'm using it is because it reserves all but 1 health, but gives you 100% shield capacity. So essentially doubles your shield. Now, the high capacity is why I'm using that. So 13,563 times 2 is a large shield pool. Now it also adds 25% additional shield recharge rate to get that shield back faster, which is great. It's got minus 20% shield recharge delay. And then you can also see at the bottom there, it also rolled an additional minus 30% shield recharge delay. So I get half of my delay time taken off by just this artifact. So it brings that 6.2 down to 3.1 shield delay. It's amazing. And if I had a health pool, that's long enough for the invulnerability to cover me without taking damage so my shield can come back, which is even better. Now the grenade I use is not anything special. It's a porcelain pipe bomb. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this. It's just a really strong, quite broken grenade at the moment, but I don't think any grenades really factor heavily into my build or any of my loadouts. So if you have any ideas on what grenade could help me better than the porcelain pipe bomb, or maybe something that factors into the build a little bit better, drop it in the comments below and I can add that to my next video. Alright, so let's go through and pick out our skills. First off, we're going to use Fade Away because it is a Fade Away build. We're going to want to max out Furious Attack. What this does is after shooting an enemy, you gain a stack. And for every stack, you gain 2% increased damage and 4.8% increased handling up to 10 stacks. Since we're shooting everything's critting and all the bullets are ricocheting, it's going to be constantly up in any battle. So now we're also going to max out Overclock. So what Overclock does is it increases your fire rate and then even more fire rate after reloading. So let's go ahead and max this one out as well. So that's going to give us 10% fire rate after reloading and a flat 10% fire rate overall. So now the next up, we're going to want to put 3 points into Turn Tail and Run. So what this does, while standing still, we gain 25% increased gun damage and 12% fire rate. While moving, we gain 17% damage reduction and 0.9% health per second to add to our survivability. So let's get to the next tier. So we're going to throw the excess points into Eager to Impress. So what this does, it's a kill skill that reduces action skill's cooldown for every enemy killed. Now we're going to want to max out this skill here, Hidden Machine. So let's put 5 points into that. So whenever an enemy has no target or is attacking a different target, Flak deals increased damage against them. Maxed out, 5 out of 5 gives you 30% increased damage. That's huge. Now we're not going to use, typically we would put points into Fast and Furious because it gives you flat gun damage while above half health and movement speed. Another skill we would normally get is going to be the Power Inside, but that is also at full health. Now I'm a 1 life Flak crit build, so we're not going to be putting points into these today. Before moving away from the Stalker tree, we're going to want to grab Unblinking Eye. So every successful hit on an enemy increases critical hit damage by 75%. That's up to 3 hits and then resets back down. So the first bullet you land is going to increase your critical hit damage by 75%. The second bullet will be 150, and then from there it's going to go up to 215. So that's going to be increasing critical hit damage by a lot, increasing your damage for every other bullet, and then resetting back to 0 after 3 hits. The next thing we're going to want to grab is Gorillas in the Mist. So Fade Away does not end after attacking enemies, but sacrifices critical hit damage by 50%, and then duration is only 8 seconds. But since we're going to be critting all the time, we're going to be landing an obnoxious amount of bullets, ricocheting, all kinds of things. We're going to be dealing way more damage using this instead of the shorter version. Alright, so now we're jumping into the Hunter skill tree. So first off, normally we would grab Leave No Trace. It has a 12% per point up to 3 points to return 1 ammo to your magazine after a critical hit. Now, I was running this while I was leveling, while I was using other guns, until I got all the ones I was using that I showed you today. Now, the reason behind that is because most of my guns return ammo to the magazine on crits, which means I don't need this skill. But if I did not have Rowan's Call or Queen's Call or King's Call or any of those ones, then I would definitely be using this. So instead, we're going to throw 5 points in here to get us down to the second tier. This is going to give us a 10% damage bonus per stack, as well as 7.5% corrosive damage, 15% action skill damage, and 7% movement speed. And that's going to be damage against flat damage, robot bonus, human bonus, and beast bonus, as you can see on the bottom left-hand side there. Next up, we're going to want to throw 3 points into head count. That means whenever we score a critical hit, there's a chance the action skill cooldown is reduced. It's a 30% chance to reduce the cooldown time by 2 seconds. That's pretty big. We're shooting a lot of ammo, a lot of bullets ricocheting. We're constantly hitting enemies, constantly critting. So hopefully that's going to bring our action skill cooldown time as low as possible and get it back as quickly as possible. So since we had some points to spend, we are going to actually max this out. I have +1 from a class mod, but this is going to give you bonuses when fighting different types of enemies. Now, the bonuses for an Interplanetary Stalker and Hunter's Eye, because of the class mod, are going to affect bosses in every single way, so keep that in mind. So this is increasing critical hit damage against humans by 18%, 36% armor damage against robots, and 25% damage reduction against beasts. And like I said, all of those are applied to bosses. So we needed 2 more points as well to drop down the tree a little bit further, so I decided to throw 2 into 2 Fang. Now this means you have a 10% chance to fire an extra projectile. You gain 5% for every level. So if you want to max this out, if you want to have a 25% chance to shoot an extra bullet, that is going to increase your damage quite a bit. Another choice we have is going to throw those 2 points into Ambush Predator if you wanted some better handling or critical hit damage when there's no enemies nearby, but I'm pretty often near enemies, and when I'm not, those 2 things are not very important. Something that would be great, but I think this skill needs buffed in general. I don't think 3% reload speed per tick or point is going to be worth it. But you could throw, those 2 points in there if you wanted some reload speed and then additional fire or reload speed after every kill, with a bonus to critical kills. Now we're going to go down to the 4th tier here. So this is big game. So we have 2 points into this, plus the 3 points here to drop us down the 1 further tier. So the 2 points in a big game are going to give us 67% increased skill duration for the Hunter tree and 20% effectiveness from the skills on the Hunter tree. So that's going to coincide with all of these happening very often, and the kill skills that we gain from our class mod, it's going to increase the duration and potency of those. Now this is huge. I have 2 bonus points, which increases my damage by so much, bringing it to 5 out of 3. So these 5 points give us a flat 42% increased gun damage, 16.7% critical hit damage, and 45.5% handling. This lasts for 120 seconds. Now, because of how often and how many bullets are hitting so many enemies, our class mod allows this to have an almost entirely 100% uptime. It's insane. This skill is always up when I'm running around, which is huge to the build. I threw 4 points into Grim Harvest, so that gives you a flat gun damage and action skill damage increase. Gun damage by 12%, action skill damage by 20%. That's pretty big there. Then we have Galactic Shadow. So this increases our critical hit damage by 15%. No catches, that's it. And then enemies are less likely to attack us as well. So that wraps it up for the Flak Crit 1 life damage build, whatever you want to call it. But it was Scovos again bringing you another Flak build. I know there's so many of these on YouTube, but I feel like this one's a little bit different, and I finally found some guns I'm very happy with. So as always, if you liked the video, drop a thumbs up. If you did not like the video, give me a thumbs down. Either way, let me know in the comments below. If you see anything I can improve on, any weapons you recommend, or any other methods in general that would be useful for me to make a video or anything along those lines, just let me know. But as always, I hope you have a good evening, afternoon, night, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are, but thank you.